This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
The time is 6:15. Here's the news edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe. Read by Victor Raj. Here are the headlines of the local news. The Prime Minister says that burial of the bodies of corona victims will be allowed. State Minister Professor Channa Jayasuman revealed that clinical reports are expected to bring down 3 new corona vaccines. The Education Minister emphasizes that university admissions increased as a solution to the problem of new and old syllabus of GC Advanced Level Examination. The Committee on Public Accounts directs the Ministry of Local Government Affairs to formulate an accepted system for administrative matters. Foreign news, the World Health Organization ends Wuhan probe on COVID-19 origins. Sports news, Single and Tamil Nebia Festival sports event planned only with traditional games. Local news in detail. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says that the burial of the bodies of corona-infected persons will be allowed. The Prime Minister was replying to a question raised in Parliament today by parliamentarian S.M. Marikar. He said that State Minister Dr. Sudarshani Fernandapolli confirmed that the virus is not spread through water. MP Marika said that there is no problem in permitting burials if the coronavirus is not spread through water. State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana says that clinical reports are expected to bring down 3 new corona vaccines. He mentioned this during a function this morning at the Health Ministry Auditorium. He said that applications will be sent to bring down the vaccines only if they are suitable to the country. The State Minister emphasized that sudden decisions will not be taken to obtain vaccines. All the applications were sent for various vaccines. Education Minister Professor J.R. Perez says that steps have been taken to increase the number of students admitted to the universities by 540 as a solution to the problem that has arisen due to old and new syllabus of GC Advanced Level Examination. He said that steps have been taken to enroll 110 students to medical faculties, 30 for dental faculties, 100 for engineering faculties, 150 for science faculties and 150 for management faculties. The Education Minister said that 30,000 students were admitted to universities last year and it has been increased to 41,000 this year. Mr. Perez said that the university system has obtained the Treasury approval in this regard. He further said that funds have been obtained to create new 500 posts in the education academic staff. He was replying to a question raised by Jathika Janabalavega MP Anura Kumar Dissanayaka under standing orders in Parliament. The Committee on Public Accounts directed the Ministry of Provincial Councils and Local Government Affairs to formulate a generally accepted system for administrative matters including recruitment, allowances and use of vehicles in local authorities. The committee informed the Secretary to the Ministry of Provincial Councils and Local Government Affairs, NHM Chitrananda, that the relevant general procedure should be prepared and submitted to the COPA within 3 months. The committee chaired by Professor Tissa Vitarna yesterday examined the Auditor General's report and current performance of the Kurunegala Municipal Council. Ministers and members of Parliament who participated in this committee pointed out that the administration of certain local authorities are irregular and a new program should be implemented in order to streamline this process. The committee also noted that the failure to prepare an action plan and a procurement plan for the Kurunegala Municipal Council and directed the Municipal Commission to take immediate action in this regard. Minister of Education Professor J.L. Peri says all schools that have not been opened so far will be opened on the 15th of March. Accordingly, schools that have not been opened in the Western Province will be opened in March. The decision to reopen schools in the Western Province on February 15th has been cancelled. Meanwhile, the District Development Committee has recommended that there is no problem to reopen 412 out of 492 schools in the Colombo district, 589 schools in the Gampaha district and 442 in the Kaluthara district have been recommended to be reopened. Minister Keheli Rambukala says that media should provide the people with correct information on the government's development program. During a media briefing this morning at the Media Ministry, he said that state media as well as private media should educate the public about development programs. He pointed out that problems have arisen due to incorrect information given to the public about the government's development programs. Therefore, Minister Rambukala said that state and private media are entrusted with providing correct information about such programs to the public. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
People's Bank introduces the Parinatha Vishrama loan scheme to honour and empower pensioners.
Continuing with more local news, Minister of Tourism Prasanna Ranatanga said strategic planning should be carried out in order to prevent the COVID-19 virus from entering the society through tourists who visit the country, whilst ensuring the prevention of the virus from transmitting to the tourist from the community. Accordingly, the minister stated that health regulations should always be followed and steps should be taken to vaccinate the people of this country as a practical measure against the aforesaid concern. The minister emphasized on the above, taking into consideration the time-consuming factor faced by tourists having to undergo PCR tests and a long quarantine period upon arrival. Thus, measures have been put in effect in order to vaccinate 57% of the total population by March, said the minister at the Consultative Committee on Tourism, which met yesterday. The 106th Ratana Sutra chanting organised by the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation takes place this evening from Kagalla Hettimulla Makurava Historical Temple. The Ratana Sutra chanting will be held under the guidance of the Registrar of the Temple, Venerable Gajanayaka Gama Subhodha Thero. It will be broadcast at 6:30 p.m. of SLBC Sinhala Commercial Service, City FM and Regional Services. Minister Sarath Weerasekara says that all organizations that promote extremism will be abolished. He told SLBC that Madarsa schools that act contrary to Education Ministry regulations will be closed down. Speaker Mahinda Abebadana says that MP Ranjan Ramanayaka cannot be brought to Parliament until judgment of the court is received. He pointed out the incident of the MP Ramanayaka is being discussed in court. The Speaker said in Parliament today that he will take action as soon as the judicial process is over. The Speaker mentioned this as a response to Opposition Leader Sajid Premadasa, who requested to give permission to MP Ramanayaka to arrive in Parliament. Minister Namal Rajapaksa says that the program to provide a fully equipped sports ground to each divisional secretariat area will commence on the 1st of next month. He said that funds have been allocated for 342 divisional secretariat areas in this regard. 1.5 million rupees has been allocated for each divisional secretariat area. He also said the program has been launched to maintain all playgrounds. The minister added that steps have been taken to develop school playgrounds in 100 education zones. That ends local news.
People's Bank introduces the Parinatha Vishrama loan scheme to honour and empower pensioners.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vidya Mahatmya in every home.
story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Bar Association of Sri Lanka will hold the National Law Conference 2021 on Friday and Saturday at the Galadare Hotel, Colombo. The conference will focus on the ways in which the legal profession can be fashioned to meet the requirements of the fast developing and oncoming future while preserving the fundamentals within the profession. The conference has been converted to a hybrid virtual and physical conference due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The conference will be held under the theme of Futurism. That ends Watchlight.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
Moving on to Watchlight, the epidemiology unit says 71,211 corona patients have been reported from the country so far. 65,053 have recovered from the virus, while 370 have died due to the illness. 5,788 are undergoing treatment under medical supervision. Corona patients have been reported from 23 districts yesterday. The number of corona patients reported daily has increased yesterday in Colombo and Kampala districts. 100 COVID-19 infected persons have been reported from Kandy yesterday. That ends Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
World News headlines first. The World Health Organization ends Wuhan probe on COVID-19 origins. Protests rock Myanmar for fifth day. Taiwan president tells Hong Kong Congress to keep faith in democracy. World News in detail. China called on the United States today to invite the World Health Organization to investigate origins of COVID-19 outbreak there, as the sparring over the pandemic continued after the WHO wrapped up its fieldwork in the Chinese city of Wuhan. Hours after the WHO team revealed preliminary findings at a Wuhan news conference on Tuesday, Washington said it wants to scrutinize data used by the team, which concluded that the virus causing COVID-19 did not originate in a laboratory in Wuhan and that bats remain a likely source. Protesters took to streets of Myanmar for the fifth day today, hoping to keep up demonstrations against last week's military coup, even after a woman was shot and critically wounded during clashes the previous day. The United States and the United Nations condemned use of force against the protesters who were demanding the reversal of the 1st February coup and the release of deposed leader Aung San Suu Kyi and other leaders of her National League for Democracy. Taiwan President Tsai Ing-wen reached out to the people of Hong Kong in Lunar New Year message today, telling them that while democracy is not perfect, it is humankind's best system and they should keep the faith. Democratic Taiwan has become a safe haven for many Hong Kongers who have fled to Chinese-run city in the face of the mounting crackdown on dissent after Beijing unveiled a new tough security law last year following months of protests. To wrap up the world news, let's take a look at the headlines once again. The World Health Organization ends Wuhan probe on COVID-19 origins. Protests rock Myanmar for fifth day. Taiwan president tells Hong Kongers to keep faith in democracy. That ends world news.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
On to the development news. Co-Cabinet spokesman, Mass Media Minister Keheli Rambukala said Cabinet has approved allocation land for regional trade zones to set up industries. Minister Rambukala said that the Project Evaluation Committee of the Regional Industrial Services Committees and Industries Minister has recommended allocating land from the 8 industrial zones on a 35-year lease for 22 investors under the Regional Industrial Zones Development Program of the Industries Ministry. That came to you on Development News. Moving on to sports news. Navia Games. Minister Nama Rajapaksa says that the forthcoming Singal and Tamil Navia festivals will be organized with local sports events. It will be the first time in the history that Navia festivals organized only with local sports events. He said that 25 marathons will be organized in 25 districts. Meanwhile, Minister Rajapaksa says that a new program named Football Friday will be launched from Friday. Olympics. The Tokyo 2020 Organizing Committee said today they will hold a gathering of executive board members later this week. The meeting on Friday is for the members to express their opinions on commenting by Tokyo 2020 President Yoshiro Mori that women talk too much. The Tokyo 2020 Organizing Committee said remarks that attracted widespread criticism and calls for Mori's resignation. Tennis news. The Australian Open looks to have seen the last of the crouching officials scrutinizing the lines of the tennis court after their replacement by the technology for this year's tournament was largely welcomed by players. This year's Grand Slam at Melbourne Park is the first major to replace line judges with electronic line calling. Meanwhile, world number 1 Novak Djokovic overcame a scare in his bid for a 9th Australian Open as he saw off American Francis Tiafoe in 4 sets. Djokovic, aiming for a third successive title in Melbourne, won 6-3, 6-7, 3-7, 7-6, 7-2, 6-3 on Rod Laver Arena. Venus Williams refused to give up after suffering an injury against Italian Sara Errani and fought through pain before bowing out of the Australian Open second round with 6-1, 6-0 defeat today. That ends the sports news. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Gulf Air, the national carrier of the Kingdom of Bahrain, will resume direct operations to and from Colombo's Bandar Naik International Airport with 2 weekly flights starting from 15th February on its new Airbus A320neo aircraft. Gulf Air has been operating direct flights between the Kingdom of Bahrain and Sri Lanka since 1981, and it is one of the airline's main destinations in the Indian subcontinent region. That came to you on Business News. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy.
Calm down. Everything is sorted. Why? I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge.
LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
The European Union, Sri Lanka's second largest trading partner, has called on local industries to step up efforts in competing with regional peers to retain the market share of the 27 member states, and stressed greater focus is required to improve the quality of goods and services traded. While the EU is a quantitative market, delegation of the EU to Sri Lanka and Maldives Ambassador Denis Chaibis stressed that European community is also qualitative market with a huge potential for the future. That came to you on Economic News.
Congratulations on your promotion. Heard you gave a treat for everyone in your department yesterday.
Yeah.
It will be our treat, huh?
Well, how about today?
Oh no, I was just joking. We'll have a party with your new salary.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
Finally, on to the weather report. The Met Department says that mainly fair weather will prevail over most parts of the island. Misty conditions can be expected in central, Sabaragamu and Uva provinces and in Gore and Mathura districts during the morning. That ends the weather report. To wrap up the evening news broadcast on Radio Sri Lanka, let's take a look at the headlines once again. The Prime Minister says that burial of the bodies of corona victims will be allowed. State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana reveals that clinical reports are expected to bring down 3 new corona vaccines. The Education Minister emphasizes that university admissions increased as a solution to the problem of new and old syllabus of GC Advanced Level Examination. The Committee on Public Accounts directs the Ministry of Local Government Affairs to formulate an accepted system for administrative matters. Foreign news, the World Health Organization ends Wuhan probe on COVID-19 origins. Sports news, Single and Tamil Navy Festival sports events planned on leave with traditional games. That ends the evening news broadcast on Radio Sri Lanka. Back to my good friend and yours, Chandima Veerakorn.